Hi, I'm Jill from Homeschool for Real Life, and I am so excited that summer is finally here. I love when we can relax our regular school schedule and the kids can play outside and have fun. It's just such a great time. However, I do like to still try to keep the learning going during the summer. For one thing, if you record your hours, it's nice to get that little boost because it means we can relax a little more during the school year. Also, it's nice to just kind of keep it fresh, keep them reading and writing and thinking about math so that we don't have that summer slide and have to go back at the beginning of the year and review. I like to keep it going and we can even make a little more progress. Plus, it's just fun. I love doing fun learning activities in the summer. And as long as I'm not pushing activities that my kids aren't interested in, they're having a great time too. And so the learning actually enriches our summertime and makes it more fun for everyone. So in this summer series, I'm going to have 3 videos for you, sharing ideas for summer learning. This one, we're going to talk about ideas for reading and writing. So let's dive right in. The first idea I have for you is backyard theater. And this one, as well as most of the other ideas I'm going to share, you can decide how complicated you want to make it. You can dive all in and have a neighborhood theater night. You can invite people from your neighborhood, or you can do family and friends and get ready, have a play with props and costumes that the kids have prepared for. Do this with some friends and fellow homeschoolers or even just neighbors. And then have everyone come to see the play, and you can have snacks and it'll be a great time. Or you can keep it really simple and just do your own family or your family and one other family and practice your parts a few times and then just read the play together. So you can make it as big or as small as you want to do and as your kids are interested in. You can find some readers' theater plays. You can find those books online or at the library where the plays are all prepared for you. And there's a variety of number of characters. So you may do one with just 3 characters so that everyone just plays one. You might find one with 6 and you each play 2 if there are 3 people doing it. Or you can find one with 12 characters and have a lot more kids participate. So there's a lot out there. Your other option is to write it yourself. Write your own play. And this can really give the kids good practice with thinking about, okay, what kind of stage directions do I need to put in there? What do I want the actor to be doing here? How should they move, or where should they walk, or should they be looking at this other character? You can start to help them understand that the genre of theater is written differently. You have to give stage directions to the actors, and then they can come up with the lines and the characters, and you want the lines to be consistent with the characters. So diving in and writing your own can be really educational and a lot of fun. But if you're not up for it, there are plenty of readers' theaters plays all ready to go out there for you. The next idea I have for you is to do a reading bingo challenge. So I don't mean playing bingo where you sit there, B9, not like that. Reading bingo, I'm talking about getting a bingo sheet, and I actually have made some for you. There's 3 different ones, and you mark on it when your child reads according to what's listed on the bingo sheet. And you can agree with your child of whether they get a prize when they get 3 in a row or the whole thing filled out, and whether that prize is going out for ice cream, you'll take them to the creek, playing a game together, whatever works for your family. You can agree on those prizes together. But the bingo sheets that I've made for you, one of them has places. So it's reading in different places, and some of them are kind of fun. Another one is reading with different people. And then the third one is reading different types of books. So you can use all 3 of those at different points in your summer if you'd like, and they can be working toward different rewards, and it gives them a little extra motivation to read and also brings a lot of variety to their reading time and maybe encourages them to try some things they hadn't thought of before. Another one is to give book awards. I also have a PDF of this for you. with various awards that your kids can give to books that they're reading during the summer. So there are awards for funny books, creative books, all different sorts of things, fascinating books. And so as your kids are reading, they can decide which ones they may want to give these awards to. And then there's a spot for the title and author and why they're awarding this book, this certain award. And so they can be thinking about that, and it just kind of gives another type of interest and engagement as they're reading. And then you can decide, again, how you want to do this. You can just print out one set, and once they've given their awards, they're done. Or you can make this an ongoing thing where your wall just fills with awards through the summer. Or you could plan an awards night. And you could have, if you have multiple kids, you could have them keep their books a secret. And so they give an award to a book for each category, and then they're unveiled on the awards night. So everybody can dress up and you can make a big deal and maybe even videotape them giving the awards, announcing what book won each award. So once again, it's up to you how into it you want to get. But these are just things to keep it fresh, new interest, to generate new interest in books, and just to have some fun, but keep them reading through the summer. Another idea that incorporates writing is to write some postcards. Obviously, you can do this if you go on vacation. It's a lot of fun to write postcards and send them to people, but you don't have to go away to do this. Your kids can make their own postcards of places that you're going around your house, or places that they imagine that they'd like to go, or they can even make a postcard to send based on a book they've read. Maybe they read about someone who lives in a different sort of place, and they can pretend to send a postcard from the character to themselves, maybe, or to someone else who's reading the book. And for your postcards, you can approach this once again as big or small as you want to do. Your child can just keep the postcards in a little photo album and kind of have a record of their summer, places they've gone, things they've enjoyed doing. Or you can do them on index cards. 4x6 index cards work really well, and you can stick a postage stamp on there and mail those. Or you could have them going back and forth between siblings or neighbors, and they just make their own pretend mailbox, and they can stick postcards in each other's mailboxes. So once again, just a fun idea to change things up a little bit. This is one that I'm excited about. I think it sounds like so much fun. Story stones. Have you seen them? This is something where you gather some stones outside, or you could buy them if you want to, if you want really nice stones, and then you paint on them with ideas for things that could create a story. So one stone might have a princess, one might have a frog, one might have a castle, and we're building a story right there, aren't we? An obvious story. But you can put all sorts of things on there. A snail, a hamburger, a chair, a star, all sorts of things. And if you look up story stones, you'll see what people have made. You'll get some ideas, and the creativity will start flowing for you. So one fun thing you could do is to use these at dinner. You also could make them glow in the dark. And so if your family likes to stay outside late at night, maybe you like to go camping, these are a great thing to take with you, because when you're just kind of sitting around the campfire or something, it can get a little boring sometimes. This can spice things up a lot. So story stones are great for creativity, and you can tell the stories out loud, and if you want to, you could even write them down for later. Another thing you can do to have some fun with reading and writing during the summer is poetry and wordplay. These are more relaxed ways to interact with words and literature. There aren't as many rules when you're talking about poetry, and wordplay is just funny and silly. So you can have them just play with the sounds of letters. So I did one of these as an example for you. My son and I actually were playing with the sound of the letter D because he was thinking about Dalmatians and came up with the Dalmatian donation as a fun rhyme. And so then I was thinking about how we could extend that and just keep going with it. And so I came up with We were delighted to receive a donation of Dalmatians until we observed the devastation. Considering the disaster displayed around our dwelling, we made the difficult decision to distribute them to deliberately designated destinations. So, very silly, doesn't entirely make sense, but it's a lot of fun just to play with words and sounds that way. And then you can also have them write poems about their experiences during the summer. You know how you have those moments and they're just really special moments and you want to remember them? Writing a poem about that moment and how you felt and what you were experiencing, what your 5 senses were bringing in, it can capture that moment for you. And then they can kind of relive those moments through the summer. I did this with a moment that's not so much one of those you want to remember, but it did stand out. Here's the poem I created. I looked up and saw a bird flying overhead and made a wish that I could fly. I thought that wish would last forever, but in a moment it had changed. I wished for an umbrella. My kids were pretty surprised I'd written a poem about a bird dropping on my head. But it stood out in my memory from that summer, and I'll bet your kids would think it's pretty fun. So as you can see, these can be silly and a lot of fun. Some moments you want to remember, some they're just silly. So anyway, have some fun with poetry and wordplay this summer. Another thing you can have your child do is to create a scrapbook of their summer. This is a great way to get them writing and use their creativity. They can take pictures as they go through the summer. They can save those poems that they write if they're trying that out. Or they can draw pictures, draw their own pictures, and they can write about their experiences. And then by the end of the summer, they'll have this scrapbook that they can look back through and remember all the fun times that they've had. Another idea is to create a story trail. Have you ever done one of those? This is where you put the pages of a book, the writing and the illustration, outside. And then a little bit further down the trail, you put the next page. And a little further down the trail, you put the next page. So this is a really great way for kids to be reading, but they're outside, they're in nature, and they're moving and having fun. It's really a special way to enjoy a book. So you can obviously do this with the pages of a book if you copy them and put them out along the trail, or you can write your own. And so you may only need 5 or 6 pages with illustrations for your story, and it's a great little trail to follow. You could do this again with a group of friends and invite them all over and follow each other's story trails. You could do it in your neighborhood. How cool would that be if you have a bunch of houses participating and you can follow the story trail at each house? Maybe each one goes around the house or however you want to do it. It would be so much fun to read each other's stories. So you could do this where you just kind of tape it along the way, just stick it out for, the hour when everyone is coming to read the story. Or if you wanted to do this in your neighborhood and have them stay longer, you can get some pretty inexpensive yard sign type things, and then you could attach a sheet protector upside down so that the rain can't go in, and slide up each page of the story, and then you can highlight a different kid's work on your street each month or each week, something like that, and follow each other's story trails. So if you really just stop and think about it, there are a lot of different ways you can do this and ways to make it really a lot of fun. Another kind of classic idea for reading in the summer is just to start a book club. And this could be online or it could be in person at the park or at your house. If you gather once a week and talk about the books you've been reading, or if you all read the same book and then come together and talk about it, this can be really great. You can have your child, while they're reading, use some Post-its to make some notes about things that they want to talk about at the book club. And you can have them looking for certain things too, like maybe really good descriptions or things they thought were funny, things that reminded them of another book they've read. So you can have them come prepared, and that can get the discussion going. Otherwise, sometimes they get together and they just stare at each other. So if they're thinking ahead of time about what they want to talk about with the book, that can get things rolling a little better. And then finally, another simple one is just to have a pen pal. This can be online. You can be emailing back and forth, or you can actually mail letters, which is really fun. These days, that's pretty unique to mail a letter. And you can write back and forth about what you're doing or about books that you're reading. So again, this could be sort of instead of a book club, it could be a pen pal who's talking about reading. So all of these are just ways to motivate your child to enjoy reading and writing in different ways maybe than they do during the school year when things are a little more relaxed in the summer. And then here's your bonus idea. Each one of these videos is going to have a bonus idea along with it. So this whole video is about reading and writing, but here's an idea that's a little bit unrelated. Plan a field trip. Have your kids plan a field trip. And what's really cool is when your kids are the field trip guides. So if you can get a few families to agree to go somewhere with you on the same day and do some work ahead of time, your kids can be the guides who share about things that you're seeing. So we did this with a group of friends once at the zoo. Each one of the kids chose an animal that's at our zoo. We walked to that animal's exhibit. All of us sat down, and then that child was telling us all about that animal. And they had freedom to do it however they wanted. Some of them created little sculptures of the animals. Some of them had posters. You can do it however you want to. The point is just that they are learning and engaged and presenting. It's always good to practice your presentation skills. It's really cool when kids get to step into the role of, hey, I'm the one who knows something. Come listen to me and I'll tell you all the cool things that I know. So you can do that at the zoo. You could do it at a park and have them, maybe each child could take a certain habitat, a certain small ecosystem within the park. Like maybe there is a creek running through it with a cliff by it, or maybe there's a pond. Maybe part of it is woods and part of it is a meadow. And they can research, maybe even talk to a park ranger about that type of habitat, that ecosystem, and what animals are found there. Are any of them endangered? How do the animals survive? How are they, uniquely suited to survive in that area? And so they could be the expert then on that area. Another cool idea is the art museum. Especially if you get a rainy day, you can have each child choose a piece of art and learn about it and then share with the other kids. So this is a really fun one that makes your child the expert. And it's amazing how empowering and motivating that can be. So thanks for joining me. Make sure you check out our other 2 podcasts for summer learning that are coming out. And if you like this video, follow us, click subscribe, visit us on Facebook, and be sure to check out our website at h4rl.com.